but with so much going on board, it's very hard not to kind of be inspired by all of that activity as well. So quite often I'm interested in making site-specific work, but on the boat, because it's quite a controlled environment, really focused on gathering as much information as I could, working with as many people as I can, and working in quite a quick way so that when I return home, I can begin to develop those.
I've definitely learned a lot about not necessarily different methods, but a different way of doing the same thing, which is really useful because when you know different ways of doing the same thing, some of them work better in some situations than others. I really like how we're linking different robotic platforms. So I've done some work before where we've used AUVs to go out and do preliminary investigations and said, okay, these sections look like they're the most interesting from this data, and then we can go back and then send an ROV down. So it's really cool to come and work with people who are using that same process in a different context.
What I've not experienced previously, which now I have a much better understanding of, is the entire workflow of processing that has gone into acquiring that data, cleaning it, processing it, the steps of the workflow that are involved with then just producing that final output. So that's not something that I had been involved in before, and just having that information is going to benefit me going forward, but it's also, I can take that back to work at work as well, and the innovative ways in which these technologies are being applied here, I can take that back as well. The amount of problem solving and troubleshooting that goes on is, like, I find it really impressive, the way that the science team and the technicians constantly are just troubleshooting and sorting things out and making things happen all the time.
So after being here for the whole week, I found like both my head and my sketchbook and my random bits of paper are full with ideas of where to go next. Both kind of visual, so things that I'll directly use when I'm back home, kind of scanning them in, and going to the screen printing workshop and then adding colour. So there's some amazing flashes of colour from the mapping that I'd really like to integrate into my final works.
We are building an ROV, a blue ROV. Someone pulled the box off the shelf, and I've been looking at it for a few days thinking, I'd really love to see one of these get set up. And as soon as I saw that box come off the shelf, I asked immediately, can I help set this up? And they said, yes, sure. And so we went in and did it together and put it together in maybe 5 hours, which is pretty good.
Going forward, our research team is putting in applications for ship time on research vessels like Falkor back in Australia. So if we're successful in getting one of those applications and we get some ship time of our own, then I'll be able to really utilise the skills and the background knowledge that I've picked up on this cruise in that scenario. So
I hope that when I go home, I can continue to sustain that discussion and dialogue, and perhaps ask for or use more imagery created down the line from this whole body of research to be able to develop this project.